Hi, obviously I'm not an artist. In this vlog, I'm going to be displaying and discussing Space Marine aircraft. Aircraft in 40k are cool as models, but not so cool in game. Just to clarify, for the content of this video, aircraft are not speeders and skimmers. The 41st century Space Marine armour contains several aircraft, in several different roles, that includes gunships or fighters/interceptors. Let's start with the biggest polymer gunship, the Storm Raven. It is now a fully available aircraft all Space Marine chapters, as previous to 8th edition it was only available for the Blood Angels and Grey Knights. The Storm Raven has a choice of anti-armour, anti-infantry, or a mix and match range weaponry, and a generous transport capacity. With a toughness of 10 and 14 wounds, it's as resilient as it can be as an aircraft. Offensively, it can have a choice of twin las, plasma, or assault cannons on a servitor-controlled turret, a pilot-operated nose-mounted twin heavy bolter, twin multi-melter or Typhoon missiles, and underwing storm strike missiles. The hull doors can be replaced with 2 sets of Hurricane bolters too. It can transport 12 Marines or 6 Terminators or 4 Centurion warsuits. The aircraft also has a Magna grapple under its tail to transport dreadnoughts, meaning you can drop off many different types of small but lethal strike forces. Of course, the obvious drawback is that it's pretty much always visible to the enemy. Unless you're playing on a densely packed board full of terrain, you've nowhere to hide. They were also subject to ire in early 8th edition, leading to this meme. This comes from power gamers using a combination of 3 Storm Ravens surrounding Ultramarines Primarch Robot Gilliman, pumping out loads of firepower and stacking rerolls, invulnerable saves and farming command points. Sounds really fun to play against. Building and painting it for me was very intimidating at first, as it was the first big expensive model, over £50, I attempted. The cockpit has 2 very fragile parts that act as braces for the canopy, and I did snap them, freeing it from the sprue. To make things worse, I then attempted to adhere the broken braces with superglue, as I impatiently wouldn't wait for the plastic glue to set, which turned the clear canopy frosty as superglue will. To combat this, I painted it black. Oh, and speaking of painting it black, I have another Storm Raven, and it's going to be a transport for the Death Company. The Storm Talon gunship is a light, gunship, with no transport capacity, is strictly used for strafing runs, but it does have varied weaponry. This includes undernose mounted twin assault cannons, and a choice of twin las cannon, twin heavy bolters, or Typhoon missiles. Its special rule strafing run allows it to get +1 to hit on ground-based units. Like the Storm Raven, it is very visible on the tabletop, but unlike the Storm Raven, it is nowhere near as robust. With only a toughness of 8 and only 10 wounds, it can be destroyed relatively easy. Both the Storm Talon and the next flyer, the Storm Hawk, have several things in common. Both are fun to paint, and both are made from the same kit. These models look sleek on the box art, but are actually pretty thick. To the point, they are affectionately known as flying potatoes, and as they are red, they are flying sweet potatoes. The Stormhawk is a fighter interceptor, and many ways used the opposite way as the Storm Talon, as it's used for destroying flyers. Armed with the wing-mounted assault cannons, it also has a choice of an undernose Icarus Storm Cannon or Las Talon. It has the +1 to hit aircraft rule, echoing what I said previously about the Hawk and the Talon being opposite each other. The Hawk's thickness is more jarring than the Talon, and really doesn't reflect its aesthetic as a fighter jet or interceptor. One model that does though is the Xiphon Interceptor, a former Forge World flyer that is now currently out of stock and in the Legends category, meaning it cannot be used in tournament play. It is a lot sleeker and fighter shaped, but unfortunately never got converted to a polymer and is now unavailable at time of writing, and this has seemed to be for a while too. I kicked myself for not purchasing one when I had the chance, as they're kinda cool. Other flyers include the Storm Eagle heavy gunship, armed with the usual Space Marine firepower and a transport capacity of 20 Battle Brothers, and its variant, the Fire Raptor gunship, which replaces storage capacity with more weapon systems. The Thunderhawk gunship is a flyer capable of acting as an orbital dropship, with a bigger transport of 30 Space Marines, but also with weapons including cannons more suited to battle tanks. The Thunderhawk originally, and amazingly, was a metal model before having a resin version. The Caestus Assault Ram is a specialist spacecraft used for ship-to-ship boarding actions, common Mounts fleet-based chapters, the ram is used when deploying Terminators into Space Hulks. And finally, the Stormbird is a super heavy attack lander and amongst the largest model in the Adapters Astartes range, able to carry a full company of 100 Space Marines or the equivalent in vehicles. All of these seem to be unavailable with no information about when they will be again. Anyway, that's everything on Space Marine Flyers. Please continue to like, comment and subscribe as I continue to chronicle the collecting, construction and creating.